So I wanted to make a quick video about book resources for African history. A lot of you guys have been asking about and requesting very specific topics about African mythology and religion. So I'm going to share some of my personal favorite resources for this topic. What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And as usual, if you like these videos and would like to support in its continued production, gaining access to sources, courses, and exclusive videos, you can support the Home Team on patreon.com. In addition, I've created a blog where I write informational articles on African history, which includes super helpful infographics on various topics that help sum up African history in fun and creative ways. A really good resource for children and homeschooling parents. The link to all of this is in the description box below. As you know, I post all my sources on Patreon, and for the string of new videos that I've done, I'll be posting those sources soon. Africa has some of the most interesting religions on the planet. In fact, religious thought itself probably originated there, so it's no surprise that people in the diaspora want to learn more about it, as it'll help us feel more connected with our ancestors. African religion can be super complex and hard to understand, and honestly, the best source for African religion is from an African who participates in the traditional religion. But since most of us don't have access to this, the next best thing, in my opinion, is the encyclopedia on African religion. Sometimes we neglect encyclopedias because they can be a pretty penny, but this book, in my opinion, is worth it. It has really helped me simplify and understand African religion. I've used it for my Closer Look series, and I'll continue to use it for some of my coursework that I'll be posting soon. I highly recommend. Oral tradition and mythology are my personal favorite topics in African history because, in a sense, it's the closest thing we have to the beginning, if you will. African mythology has so many fantastic stories that we haven't even tapped into yet. Honestly, we in the diaspora should be ashamed of ourselves for not recreating these stories in animations or feature films. I'm trying to do a better job myself. A book that I'm reading right now as we speak is called African Myths of Origin by Stephen Belcher. I cannot sing the praises of this book any further. It takes the oral tradition and mythology of different regions on the continent and gives a full retelling. I absolutely love this book and will continue to be using it in the future. Another book on African mythology that I've read and continue to use is called African Mythology A to Z by Patricia Lynch and Jeremy Roberts. I learned so much from these two books, and they've filled me with endless stories on African history that are so valuable. I highly recommend this, especially for parents looking to teach their children bedtime stories on African heroes, gods, and kings and queens. I'll put links to all these books in the description box. One last favorite of mine is simply the Encyclopedia of Africa. This is a must-have for everyone who wants to simply have access to the ins and outs of African history in general. It's simple, easy to understand, and straightforward. Now, of course, like the other encyclopedia, it's definitely an investment, but it's worth having in the home, especially for generations to come. So like I said, guys, if you're really interested in getting your own insight into African history straight from the source, especially when it comes to niche topics like African mythology and religion, I highly recommend getting these books. As mentioned, I'll leave a link to all these books in the description box. In the future, I'll try to leave a resource link for you guys so that you can learn more about African history. You'd be surprised about all the legends and myths you don't know about Africa. Stories that we can no doubt build a studio on. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you'd like full access to everything, you can support the Home Team on patreon.com. And don't forget to check out afrographics.com for articles and infographics on African history. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.